Alright, gang, getting into some pros and cons about this Ultimate Gohan. Join the club, subscribe, like, blah blah blah. AGL Ultimate Gohan looks pretty good, not great. There are a lot of pros and cons with this kit. A lot of pros and cons with his delivery, the execution on him. Let's start with some cons first because you all love fucking negativity. But con one, I would say, is that his animations are okay. They are not great. Some look pretty, like, really good. They edge towards, like, his intro. I think his intro is really good. I just feel like it captures the moment very well. 12 key is something that looks better in the 2x speed, but I mean, certainly you're kind of just excusing it for the jank that it is. Like, the speed up kind of masks how awkward it looks. There's just no getting around it. 18 key and active skill are both kind of retreads, as well as the combo attack with Gotenks, but yeah, kind of retreads. I will say that the Super Kamehameha looks pretty good and is I don't mind the homage to, like, the Majin Buu saga Goku that is already in the game, but you can tell that some assets are being saved, like some developer work is being held back there. What's a pro? Pro is that he supports the Tech Gohan that we just got, the Easy A Tech Gohan that we got on Global and JP. He is basically existing to make that character look good. If you do not have the Easy A Tech Gohan, you should not pull this character. This character is not for you. This character only exists to activate his links. If I mean, it looks so obvious in retrospect that they were gonna make this Ultimate Gohan this Celebrations LR, because that Easy A hinges on this dude being on his team. That said, here's a con. Both of these Gohans still have terrible 200%. Super Saiyan God Goku is not really the most reliable run, especially having to run two of him. He kind of just floats a bunch of characters that make the rotations sloppy. But of course, if you're on JP, you can run Beast Gohan. I mean, but at that point, are you not just saying that LOL, every character is runnable if you can run Beast Gohan? Like, you could bring a Cyberman, do an event with Beast Gohan. Like, wow, Beast Gohan's good. Who knew? What else? Another pro, I guess, is that he's one of those characters that while he does stack, he's pretty good the moment he gets on rotation. Like, obviously there are peaks and valleys, but you are looking really good, like, the moment this AGL Ultimate Gohan shows up. He just does what he does. He's always guarding. He's supporting when he's at 24 key, but that said, the 24 key seems to activate during the turn rather than once you get 24 key, which makes planning the rotation a bit messy. And speaking of which, he's a 24 key and slot 2 monster. He has key issues that'll sometimes arise. Not saying it'll happen every time, but if you don't have a rotation of Majin only characters, you're gonna end up in situations where you could miss it. Is this the biggest deal in the world, like Fraud Beast? No. Can it be? I'm sure it can. I'm sure it can and will be with enough time given. That said, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, you know, bash on him for something that could be negligible. We don't know yet. Pro, he's really fun to use. He reminds me of Strength Cooler. He does all the things Strength Cooler does. He's on a super team, which means that he is inherently much comfier, if I can use that term, than Strength Cooler ever has been, because Strength Cooler has to carry villains basically. This Gohan can just be this Gohan could be the worst character on the team and he'd still be fine, if that makes sense. Con, he's a fucking additionals merchant. If he does not hit his additionals, he looks much worse. If you do not get hidden potential in him and give him a bunch of crit, he looks much worse. If you do not have him rainbowed, if you do not have dupes, he looks much worse. I decided to give this character 200 stones, and I was lucky to get him. That said, do I think you should spend 200 stones? Do I think you should risk or gamble? Would you really feel bad if you used 200 stones and didn't get him? I'm going to say no, because this isn't a make or break character for your account. I went into this thinking, after seeing his details, I'm going to spend 200 stones and no more. And if I get him, good. And if I don't, oh well. He's not a must-have character. He's not gonna be a must-have character. I said this in the previous video. This character is closer to the bottom of the top 10 list, considering LRs, than he is to the, like, top of it. Like, it's not even close, by the way. It's like Once you get down to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, where you find where this character is, he's not going up because he's not beating Broly, who is like Broly is like one of the most damaging characters in Dokkan, and this guy only does damage. Yeah, you're not getting there. You're not touching him. That said, here's a pro. Because you have a stacking attack modifier and your active already does an insane amount of damage, I've seen this dude pump out 30 million plus active like attacks, and it feels good, right? Like, it feels good to have an active skill and you're like priming yourself. You're going, yes, this is like the big finishing attack, and then he does that shit. You know, it's like if the Spirit Bomb didn't do damage, while the Boo Super Saiyan 3 Goku from this celebration kind of has like a flaccid active. This guy definitely doesn't. He uses active and he blows you up. Con, he is not as good as Bulma. He is nowhere near the powerhouse that Bulma was in this time slot, and I'm not gonna lie, in like 4 months when you see this guy on returning banners, I cannot sit here with a straight face and tell you that you're gonna be excited to pull copies of this guy on that banner unless you're a big Gohan fan. But it's really not to take away from him being solid, because he is solid. He's solid. But he will be one of those characters that starts to show his age faster than most, and it's going to be annoying. It's going to be really annoying to see that. As I said, skip or pull. I would say if you're going to pull, set a hard limit. Say, I am only spending this amount and I will spend no more, especially if you're free to play or low spending. I would say like set that like 150, 200-ish stones and just be like, I'm done. I cannot spend more. Because you're not going to get those stones back, and who knows how long you're going to get to use this character. This character feels like a Ginyu. The Ginyu LR is very good. He does what he needs to. He supports what he needs to. And in that way, this AGL Gohan is making Tech EZA Gohan look like a god. And man, does Tech EZA Gohan get up to some absurd start of turn stats. Like, I'm talking like 3 million attack stat before supering. You know, 1.5 million plus defense, guarding, transform 6 links activated. You know, the sky's the limit. That Tech Gohan just looks so amazing. Is Tech Gohan just him but better? Yeah, he is. And that just is a product of defense being stronger in Dokkan than attack ever will be. There's no way to get around that. Minato brings up a great point here, saying he used Ultimate Gohan for a bit, and I think they dropped the ball with him. He wants a lot of things to go his way. RNG, additionals, enemy HP, random type orb changing. No built-in crits, so you need to rely on the hidden potential system for a 2024 damage dealer to do damage. Tons of holes in his design. I think the thing I'd most noticed and most take away from this is that while I do agree there are a lot of issues that compound to form a bigger whole when it comes to this AGL Gohan, I think the thing that is most annoying for me looking at his kit, maybe not annoying because I'm not really that bothered, he's fine, but the thing that is most maybe disappointing if you're like a big Gohan fan and you want like a really strong character, is that so many of the things that stack on top of one another to make him disappointing aren't big enough to even be called like interesting downsides. You know what I mean? Like, first form Frieza, who has no team, has a like visible downside, but they tried to make a cool character. I don't really know that in the case of AGL Gohan I can give him that same leeway, because he's sort of standard. Like, what is AGL Ultimate Gohan if not just the new Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but like conventionally worse? You know what I mean? Like, he's just a character who does a bunch of attacks, except he doesn't have crit. He has an active skill that hits really hard and stacks, but what if you just hit very hard every single turn and couldn't die? You know what I mean? It's not like the Ginyu, and Ginyu is a character I'm going to start referencing a lot when it comes to design in Dokkan, because even though he's not top 10 LR, ooh, you know, hanging over our head, top 10 LR, Ginyu is so cool. Ginyu is made so well for what he's trying to do and what he represents. He perfectly encapsulates the feel of the Ginyu Force in Dokkan. And even though some people were disappointed that he's not top 10 best unit in the game, LR Ginyu Force, when I look at him and I look at Topo, I see Dokkan going on forever. When I look at Ultimate Gohan, it's AGL, I see we ran out of ideas on the room. Like, we just, cut our losses, we ran out of room. Like, we didn't know what to do. And that, you see people like Truth and stuff say they'd rather just have good characters, not like the interesting characters, because the most interesting thing is just being a good character. Sure. Whatever. Release a million Beast Gohans in a row who are all the same character, though, and people are going to stop playing. Like, because at the end of the day, even though it's a gacha game, even though power creep, blah, 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 people are still pulling for characters for like the modicum of like gameplay interaction that you can get out of these games. You play things like Honkai or Genshin or Epic 7, blah, blah, blah. They aren't making the characters the same every single release, but better. They're typically focusing on a core mechanic and packing enough good qualities around them or good gameplay systems around them that you can uplift having this like niche character interaction, which is why, and I've already said this, people want to make start topics about what Dokkan needs. Can they modernize? Should they take a week off? Dokkan doesn't need a week off. Dokkan needs to realize that it has all of the functionality. It just needs to like lean into it. There are things you can do to Dokkan that will prove fortuitous when it comes to longevity after this 10th year, and it's not going to be giving every character guard and damage reduction. I promise you. But yeah, whatever. Rest of this is just gameplay. If you like this, like it. Peace.